Dear student, welcome to the course Computational Fluid Dynamics, and the course code is BTME 3053. Now in today's lecture, I am going to discuss the important technique or the discretization that is used in the CFD's finite difference method. As I explained, that discretization means to break the continuous matter or your continuous component into small sizes of finite elements, and as you have seen in the finite element method or in CF your Fluent software, when you are using these techniques, okay, you are aware with the software fundamentals. So what we are doing, suppose that we have a continuous system and breaking this system into a small elements. Okay, the size of these elements is small and finite, so this technique is called finite method, finite difference method. There are two. One is the finite value method that already I have discussed. This is finite difference. So what we are doing, we are discretizing or breaking the our system or our interest flow field into a small number of elements with finite size, and these elements the made up from the continuous boundaries, and the vertices of these finite elements is known as the node. So discretization means to generate the node, or we can say to mesh the elements into smaller number of finite size elements. So here the technique that I am going to discuss is finite difference method, very popular in CFD and finite element analysis, that is in FEA. So if we recap the lecture, that in the previous lecture I have discussed the different discretization technique that I have told there are two main methods. One is the mesh method and other is the mesh free method. And when we go into the mesh method, in the mesh method there are three important techniques. One is the finite volume, another is the finite difference, the third one is the finite element. And in the previous lecture I have discussed about the finite volume method. So I am just recapping it, that what it was. It is applied. Suppose that we have a system, so we break the system into different small number of components. They can be, I am in 2D, they can be triangular shape, square shape, quadrilateral. If in a balloon I am, then this is a tetrahedron, your octahedron. These are the finite volume elements. Okay, so we break the our interest flow field into a small number of elements, and then we applied the conservative equations or the fundamental equations of the fluid dynamics into the integral form. Okay, that is the need of finite volume method. It is applied where we apply the fundamental equations of the fluid dynamics into the integral form. Then for each small volume that we have generated, for that small volume we apply these equations, and finally using the finite volume approach we generate the algebraic equation, or we derive the algebraic equation from the our standard partial differential equations, and later we have the solution of the later we have the solution of that partial differential equations. So idea is that we have a continuous field in which we don't have solution at each and every point, but applying the discretization technique we have our solution values at discrete point into the solution space. Okay, so this was the finite volume method. Now, objective for the today lecture, we will see that what is the finite difference method technique for the discretization, and then we will compare between two important techniques. One is the finite difference and another is the finite volume. Okay, the finite volume technique I have already discussed the previous lecture, where I am reminding you that the idea is to break the continuous flow field into discrete flow field of discrete volumes, that is a finite size volume, and it is applied where we have a fundamental equation into the integral form. Then we break the region and we derive the algebraic equation for every small volume that we have discretized, and then sum over the whole volume to get the values at some discrete point into the space. So let's talk about the partial finite difference method. The first step in solving any CFD problem is to discretize the equations. Why to discretize the equations? Because we have the partial differential equation and whose exact solution is not possible because these partial differential equations are higher order and are coupled with such a terms which is generally non-linear in nature. So very complicated partial differential equation which solution from the analytical approach is not possible. So we move towards the numerical approach, and when we are moving towards the numerical approach says that we have valued at some discrete point and not at the all points available in your solution space. So whenever we are going to solve any CFD problem, the first idea is we have to discretize the equations. Discretize the equations mean we have to discretize the our solution space or our system. Okay. Now, usually all fluid dynamics equations are in partial differential equation format. These differential equations must be transformed into algebraic form so that they can become solvable by the computer. The idea is behind the discretization is that when we consider the whole system, okay, so we have a partial differential equation. So breaking that partial differential equation into the algebraic equation is the major ideology behind it. So how do we generate the partial algebraic equation from the partial differential equation? The idea is discretization, that break your component into finite size, and for that a small element we can approximate the differential equation into algebraic equation. Then for that small element we have the solution, and then we can integrate or sum it over the whole system. Okay, so the most common discretization technique for partial differential equation is the finite difference method. Okay, so here we will see that how finite difference method gives you idea to discretize the sample space. Before moving into the finite difference method, the important term is the Taylor series, and that we have to understand that what is Taylor series. The primary background of any discretization using finite differences depends on using the Taylor series. Okay, if the Taylor series you can approximate to solution to any function at x plus dx as long as you know the initial values. So suppose that this is f x plus delta x, where delta x is a very small variation into space in the x direction. So as per the Taylor, it can be expanded as fx plus del f by del x delta x plus second derivative del 2f upon del x2 del x square by 2 plus dot dot, and the last we have del f upon del x to power n, that is the nth derivative of the function, and delta x to power n upon factorial. So this is the your Taylor series. So if we can approximate the solution for any function delta x for a small, we can have the values for delta x, then 2 delta x, and 3 delta x. Okay, in this way we have the solution for each and every different point. Now if we look the graphical approach, this is the fx, this is your x, this point is 1, this value is x plus delta x. Okay, so this is your graph, that is our function fx. Okay, so this is your point 2. So we can reach the point 2. One is the along to the curve, another we can go through the 1 to 3 and then moving from 3 to 2. So the movement from 3 to 2, or either we can say I can reach like 1 to 4 and then dropping from 4 to 5. So I can reach there. Okay, so fx plus delta x, that is fx, then del f by del x into delta x plus del 2f upon del x to del x by 2 ka whole square. So what is this? This is fx goes very great, then add delta x, capture from there, and add convex for convex. Okay, so this is the idea. Let us write the x component of velocity at any point for 2D flow. Just I am taking a example. Okay, so I can write u I plus 1 at j, I plus 1 into j, that is f x plus delta x, variation in x and no variation in y, that is j. So I have written u I plus 1 into j, that is you can say here is x plus delta x j. So what this function, because it is 2D, so variation in ij, We are considering the variation only in x direction. So we can write uij, that is fx, plus del u by del x, ij, delta x, variation in x. Then second derivative, del 2 upon del x to ij, del x whole square by 2. Then del 3u upon del x 3 ij, del x cube by 6. So in this way the Taylor series will goes. Let us solve for the first term derivative of the above equation. What can I write? I can write this, I can take that side. So ui plus 1j minus uij, right? Then I will divide it with the delta x. Okay? I can take this term, this hand side. So ui plus 1j minus uj. So I have this. Then I will divide by the delta x. Okay? So here I've got del u by del x. Then the whole series I can transfer around this. So I can write del u by del x ij equal to ui plus 1j minus uij upon delta x. What is this written? Fx plus h y minus fx y upon delta h. So this is the fundamental calculus first principle, and we can represent it by the finite difference representation. And what these are the term? Del u by del x 2, del x by 2, this is your truncation error. So when we have a partial differential equation, for every del u by del x, I can replace with this and minus some error term. Okay, so the focus is overall to minimize this error. But in a unsolved idea, for a partial differentiation del u by del x, I can break it in this way, that is ui plus 1 into j minus uij over delta x, then the other term, and these other term constitutes towards to known as truncation error. So this is the idea how to represent a derivative, either it is a partial or a total derivative, in terms of finite difference representation, that is f of x plus h minus fx divided by the delta h. Okay? Hence, after the first term, the remaining terms can be classified as truncation error and can be discarded if you accept the magnitude of the error. Okay, so if we are in a position, okay, that we can, if the delta x is very small, if I'm considering, then its higher order terms will be very small because comes square, cube. Okay, so we can neglect that term in the magnitude wise if it is very small. So we can uh, approximate the partial differential equation into the finite terms. Then we get a first order algebraic equation that approximate the partial derivative, and it is called a forward difference. So you have an idea that I can write anywhere del u by del x ij, it is not equal to, but it is equivalent to ui plus 1j minus uij upon delta x. Why it is equivalent? Because we have not considered the others higher order terms that was involved in the Taylor series, so we have neglected it. And if the magnitude wise we can neglect that other transcription terms or errors, so we can model the partial derivative into the finite difference element in such a way. Now that was the forward difference. There are three types of difference: forward difference, backward difference, central difference. Now we will see what is the central difference. However, the problem with both the forward difference and rearward differences is the fact that they are the first order algebraic representation of the partial derivative. So either we apply the forward difference approach or backward difference approach, we are finding out that these partial differential equations can be represented into the set of algebraic equations, and we are neglecting the error terms, okay, because we are not considering the error terms. So what is happening? Due to this, the accuracy is greatly decreased because we are not considering the error term, we are neglecting them, and we will need to look for ways to increase the accuracy of the partial derivative to reduce the overall error that will be formed into the equations. So when we have a partial differential equation, a set of partial differential equation, and either we are using the forward difference or the rearward difference, in both we are approximating your partial derivative into the algebraic equation, and during that we are neglecting the higher order terms, that is known as the error. So what the accuracy of our solution is decreases because we are not considering that terms. So there is another idea that how to reduce this inaccuracy, means in that is coming into the system due to the neglection of the other terms. So that is the central difference. Okay. Now let's understand in short what is that. Using the methodology defined above, it will be possible to create forward, rearward or central differences with respect to y in partial differentiation. Like we are having a function that is u and we are derivating this function del u over del y ij, y ij, it's a 2D function. Okay. So if I want to write the forward difference, ui j plus 1 minus uij over delta y plus o del y. These are the other terms that we have neglected. This is the forward difference. If I will talk about the rearward difference, uij minus ui j minus 1 over delta y plus other term. This is the rearward difference. Okay. And this is the central difference, uij plus 1 minus uij minus 1 over 2 del y plus o del y ka square. That is the central difference. And when we are going by this approach, the error that comes into the system is comparatively small in comparison to forward difference and rearward difference. Now if you see some idea in graphical mode to understand this, this is the partial differentiation when we are using the finite difference method. Suppose that we have this is our solution is space, okay, for a very small element that we have discretized. What the forward difference is that this is the ij, okay. If we move delta x in the forward direction, this there is no variation in j. This is I axis, this is j axis. So no variation in j. So this is going to be I plus 1 and j. Okay. So for these 2 points, I can write that is del u by del x ij equal to u I plus 1 into j, this function minus this uij and divided by the delta x. So this is the representation of forward difference. Now if we look the first order and rearward difference, here was our point ij. I am going rearward, so this is I minus 1 and this is j. Okay. So partial differentiation is going to be uij minus ui minus 1j over the delta x. So this is a rearward difference. Okay. Now here we are seeing second order central difference with respect to x. So this is a element, here it was center, so we are moving a delta x distance forward, that is going to be I plus 1 into j, and moving backward I minus 1 into j. So the total distance is going to be 2 delta x. Okay. So our variation is from ui plus 1j to ui minus 1j. So we can approximate this partial derivative equation into algebraic equation, and we can write that del u by del x at the ij is going to be the difference, that is ui plus 1j, that is the value of the function at this extreme point, minus the value of the function this your left hand side extreme point, that is ui minus 1 into j and divided by the 2 delta x. So we are just applying the Taylor series and approximating the partial differential equations into the algebraic equations, and the other terms, that is the error terms, will come, but that we have not considered into this equation. Now let's summarize what we have studied about this technique. So Navier-Stokes differential equations used to simulate airflow around an obstruction. In numerical analysis, finite difference methods are a class of numerical techniques for solving differential equations by approximating derivatives with finite differences. And here we have seen three difference techniques: forward difference, rearward difference, and central difference. Finite difference methods use discrete approximation to the space derivative. This results in a set of ordinary differential equations that can be solved numerically. Okay, so this is all about this technique. The idea is you which forward or backward or central difference what you want to use, that is not important, but in that way we approximate the partial d's into algebraic equation. Now these are the reference books from where you can take the help, and this is the website for the CFG. So here you can find out some problem and you can solve that problem in the Fluent, and also you can get some idea about the other aspect of it. Now the questions for the practice, that what does finite difference mean? The second one is what are the advantages of finite difference method? how do you find finite difference method, how do you find the leading coefficient of finite difference, and what is the difference between FPM, FEM and FDM. So these are the questions that you have that you will go through that about this. So as the today lecture, I have discussed the discretization technique, and that discretization technique was the finite difference method. And in that finite difference method, we have seen that there are three approaches. One is the forward difference, another is the rear world difference, and third one is the central difference. So these are the three approaches through which we can approximate or derivative, that is, suppose that del u by del x into finite terms. Okay. So when we are applying the forward difference or the rear world difference, there are other terms that known as the error terms, and we have not considered in our approximation. So when we are nullifying it in terms of magnitude, the error automatically comes into the system because we are neglecting that term. So if we want to minimize that error terms, we have another approach, that is central difference approach, in which we are moving forward as well as backward with respect to a center point, and in that case the minimization of the error is very less, and this is a technique better than the other two forward and backward differences in terms of minimization of the error. So this was all about the today lecture. Hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Till now, thanks.